And away we go. It is the nightcap right here on BearcatJournal.com, brought to you as always by Galactic Fried Chicken. Visit www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Use the app, get it delivered to your house, pretty much anywhere inside the 275 loop. And look, I'm telling you, if you get the chicken at Galactic Fried Chicken, Dayton, Kentucky, tell them to pump it up, save 15%. You have to wait like 8 minutes for it to cool off. It's so hot.
Yes.
So if they bring it to you and you're like 12 minutes away, like that shit's still going to be really hot. So do that. Support our sponsors who take care of us so that we can take care of you. All right, Aaron, look. I'm tired. It's hard. Doing this job is hard.
I found the tweet I was looking for.
Did you? All right. We had a great BCJ pod tonight. I thought Dave and I hit on a lot of really good stuff. We had a really good Rock of Truth tonight. I thought that went really well. The biggest crowd we've had for the Rock of Truth.
Mm-hmm.
So go check that out right here on the YouTube page. And now it's the nightcap. I don't know a whole lot else I have of words to say out of my mouth tonight. Well, boom!
One of the things we didn't get to yesterday, because this entire week has been chaotic. It's felt like 30 days already. And it's only December 1st. Thanksgiving somehow was only a week ago today.
I don't believe that. I don't believe Thanksgiving was a week ago.
I can't comprehend. I feel like, do you remember how like COVID lockdown time got all screwed up?
Yeah. Where everything felt like it was going really fast and also really slow at the same time.
That's what this is. That's exactly what this is. I think I've refreshed my Twitter feed probably a good like 64,000 times this week. So they expanded college.
I forgot to give you an important tip about coaching searches. Stay off Twitter.
Man.
Stay off Twitter.
Man.
Twitter is fine.
Man.
Like normally. But when there's a tornado going,
I don't know that I'd call Twitter fine normally. You know what to expect.
No, it's fine. Like, I know what to. I'm fine on Twitter normally. During a coaching search, it's absolutely the least I'm on Twitter like ever, because there's too much. Like everybody's trying to be.
I don't know how everybody's tweeting when they're also on the boards on BCJ.
They've got. It's got to be a 2-device situation, right? A phone and an iPad, a phone and a laptop.
I feel like people have figured out how to post to both places at the same time using voice to text, right?
Did you see? So somebody brought back up the 2016, like when Tommy got fired, Dave put up a thread with just like the initial hot board. It was 4 pages.
The hot board?
The first hot board from
it was only 4 pages back then?
4 pages. 4 pages.
It was 4 pages in 20 minutes yesterday.
When we're done with this, there will be more than 4 pages that are on Bearcat Journal on Hotboard 3.0 than there were when I left.
All right. Well, let's get to the task at hand.
Okay.
The playoffs expanded. And
Yes.
they are now going to include 12 teams. I believe that there's going to be a bye for the top four ranked conference champions.
Yes.
From the
You have to be a conference champion.
Power 5.
Yes. So, like, if Ohio State's, or let's do SEC, that's more realistic. If Georgia's 1 and Alabama's 3, Alabama does not get a bye because they're not the conference champion.
Right.
They would go into the group of teams that would host games 5 through 12. So just to be clear on that.
And I don't know what the parameters are at this point for the additional teams with an auto bid. I would imagine that you'd still have the other Power 5 conference that wasn't included as one, and also
I haven't had any time to look at it. Like there was so much going on today.
It's still evolving. But in any case, the tweet I was looking for, is from Chris Hummer. And he had every team that would have made the college football playoff since 2014 had it been a 12-team format.
Right.
Big Ten would have had Ohio State 8 appearances, Penn State 4 appearances, Wisconsin 3 appearances, Michigan 3 appearances, Michigan State 3 appearances, Iowa 1 appearance, Indiana 1 appearance. SEC, I mean, just pretty much about the same. Alabama 7, Georgia 5, Florida 3, LSU 2, Auburn 1, Ole Miss 2, Texas A&M 1, Mississippi State 1. ACC,
Ole Miss 2 is surprising.
Yeah. Clemson 6 for the ACC. Clemson 6, Florida State 3, North Carolina 1, Miami 1, Pittsburgh, Notre Dame 1. For the Big
Notre Dame would have made it in COVID. That if you're wondering,
right,
Notre Dame would have made it in COVID. By the way,
they can't actually they can't get a bye.
No,
because independent teams can't get buys. Correct.
By the way, how crispy does my new black cap look from 513 shirts?
Like we talked about earlier, your last black cap was somewhere between brown and purple. It had been so faded.
513shirts.com, drop down partners. You can get yourself one of these crispy black Bearcat Journal hats. Okay, go on. Sorry.
Big 12, Oklahoma 6 appearances, TCU 2, Baylor 3, Kansas State 1, Iowa State 1, Oklahoma State 1. Pac-12, Washington 3, USC 2, Utah 2, Oregon 2, Arizona 1, Stanford 1, Colorado 1. AAC, UCF 2, Cincinnati 2, Memphis 1, Houston 1. Notre Dame would have had 3 as an independent. Boise State would have had 1 from the Mountain West. Western Michigan would have had 1 from the MAC. And Coastal Carolina would have had 1 from the Sun Belt. What that tells me is that doesn't tell me anything because I think they would have manipulated the shit out of it.
I almost literally fell asleep while you were reading all that.
They would have manipulated the shit out of it.
Of course.
None of that would have actually come to fruition.
So we couldn't have done that any quicker?
I'd found it before I did. I could have but again, that comes courtesy
of busting your balls. It's
Chris _ Hummer.
Yeah, he's at SI, right? Somewhere.
I mean, I can find out.
I don't know where he's at anymore. I think he was at SI.
247.
Look at it. Yeah. Oh, that's right. 247.
National writer and transfer portal for 24/7.
Oh, he works for us. That's right.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't pay any attention to those guys because they shit on Cincinnati all the time. So anyway, going into the Big 12 is going to help. If you're in second or third place in the Big 12, you're going to have a puncher's chance to get into the playoff. So if you finish top 3 in the league, you got a shot now. That's all you can ask for.
Unless they try and railroad you the way that they're trying to railroad TCU right now, saying that even though they have the highest strength of schedule out of any of the teams in the top 6, I believe, even though they have the highest strength of schedule and they've won all their games, they're still saying they may not really actually belong.
That part's always going to happen because the loudest voices are and will always continue to be SEC and Big Ten voices. Yeah. So the SEC is going to want 5, and the Big Ten is going to want 5, and everybody else gets 2. That's how they're going to want to do it.
That's not how any of this works.
Right. Well, at least, and I'm being facetious when I say that, but what they're honestly going to expect, both, is that the 2 teams that play in the title game should be in, and the 2 teams that just missed should also be in.
You know who I think should actually be scared in expanded playoffs, Chad?
The ACC?
No. The Big Ten and the SEC. For once, they could actually, the top teams at the
get exposed.
Could be exposed by.
Well, actually, here's where I'm going to be different.
5 team?
No, here's where I'm going to be different. I don't think it's the 1 or 2 team in the SEC and the Big Ten. The 3 or 4 team that's like the 6 seed or the 8 seed that everybody has been told, like, oh, they're 10-2. That's like an awesome team. Year? Yeah. Well, it's Alabama. I'm not. You give Nick Saban a month. You give Nick Saban a month.
I'm just saying.
No, but no. What I'm saying is, like, so Kentucky gets into the playoff at 10-2, like 10-2. They don't make the SEC title game. They have, the best season in program history, whatever, and they're like the 9 seed. And then they get exposed. And then we get this happening over and over again where we're putting 4 and 5 teams from the SEC in the Big Ten, and the 3rd, 4th, and 5th teams, 2nd, 3rd, 4th teams continue to get exposed. Where in the past, what we knew was the number 1 team in those leagues is usually pretty damn good. But the teams below that,
I just think you might actually get an opportunity for the Big 12, for the ACC, for
that's what I'm saying,
the lowly Pac-12 to show like they belong in the conversation.
So you get a second round game that is like the 4th team in the SEC, and they play the conference champion from the Big 12. You're good. There's going to be a lot of chances for everybody else to knock off those SEC and Big Ten teams. I think we agree. We're just saying it different ways.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm just excited for if this happens enough in the next 3, 4, 5 years, maybe people aren't speaking so highly of the Big Ten outside of Ohio State and Michigan, which is already starting to happen anyway. Or the SEC isn't talking about teams outside of
Georgia and Alabama.
But it also creates a situation where you're going to see teams like Ohio State pretty much in every single year, even more so than they were, to where they're not on the outside looking in.
Like they're in. Well, but here's the thing, Aaron. Like when you compare it to like the NFL, right?
Yep.
Right now, every year the Chiefs are in. Pretty much every year the Bills are going to be in. We're hoping the Bengals get there, right? And then you look at the NFC, like the Eagles look like right now they've got something that's sustainable for a while. And the 49ers look like they're building something. So you still, like, even if
NFL has a ton of parity, though.
Okay, so the MLB, the Yankees are in every year. The Dodgers are in every year. Like, you're going any playoff, any expanded playoff
That's more comparable, though, because you have those teams with
no salary cap,
way more payroll.
Right. But it's still the same in the NBA. The same 3 or 4 teams are always in the playoffs.
Well, but what you can say for some of those things, though, is every now and again you get a team like
that knocks them off.
The New York Giants,
game scenario.
The New York Giants who sneak into the playoffs and they're hot and make it all the way to the end.
But what I'm saying is, like, don't be surprised that Alabama's in every year. Alabama's in a 12-team playoff. Alabama's going to be in every year.
They're pretty much in every year anyway. So
in a 4-team playoff. No, I'm just saying that part is not that different than anything else we already have.
It's just going to be a lot more fun when you see a Pac-12 Washington.
TCU knocks off.
Sure. Georgia. Or whatever. Insert team here from the SEC.
Ohio State, Michigan.
Yeah. And maybe they weren't as good as everybody thought, even though they were playing each other as, a top 5 team.
No, you're
each
right.
of them. So I think there's
that part makes it fun because the money is never going to change.
No.
The discrepancy between the Big Ten and the SEC and everybody else, maybe it gets like this a little bit, but there's always going to be a gap from those two to everybody else.
Sure.
So if we get a playoff format where for like 5 years, those two struggle, like go look, Aaron, go look. Here's your homework. We're off tomorrow.
Yeah.
Unless there's a coaching hire, we're off tomorrow. Go look at the Big Ten and the NCAA basketball tournament. Who's the last Big Ten team to win a national championship, Aaron?
Was it Ohio State forever ago? No. Michigan.
No. It's going to hurt your feelings when you find out. I'm pretty sure it's Michigan State, 1999-2000.
That long ago? Man.
Tell me a Big Ten team that's won since.
I'll have to do some homework.
So if something like that happens, where all of a sudden it becomes, who's the last Big Ten team to win a national football title?
Ohio State.
What year was that?
It's been some time.
It's been a hot minute, right? Maybe the Big Ten continues to be exposed as a fraud.
That's the fun part for me is I always love a good David Goliath.
Yeah, I know. Look, we were going to get to some other stuff tonight, but we've been doing this a lot this week.
I'm tired.
I'm not going to take a day off. I'm going to be on the phone all freaking day tomorrow. But we're going to take a on-screen day off.
Thank God.
Unless
there's a coaching hire.
Unless there's a coaching hire. What I can tell you is there's like 218 hours of content that we've done this week on the YouTube channel, on the podcast.
A month's worth.
It's all there. And you guys have been killing it, listening, dialing in. The explosion that we've seen this week is unbelievable.
The chat's been a lot of fun.
We greatly appreciate it. But we'll see you guys Saturday, one way or another. It's the nightcap. Get some sleep. Right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!